This is Cartesian line distances, part 2. And when you're trying to find a point on a line that is equidistant from two other points on a line, then you use the formula I presented in the last video. Okay? Because if you do, you find a point and its coordinates are exactly the same distance from the beginning of the line as it is from the end of the line. Now this all works great and dandy if you're trying to divide a line into halves, fourths, eighths. Yes, you can actually divide you can divide a pie into 4 equal slices, so everybody gets the same slice of pie, basically. You can do that. But what happens if you're on a road trip, okay, and you don't want to make 4 pit stops, you want to make 3? Now what do? Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do that. Here are the coordinates we're trying to find. Now this point we're going to try to find is going to be 2/3 of the way from here to here. Okay? We have this total distance here, and we want to find the distance that's 2/3 of the way from here to here, which is going to be right here. How do we do that? Well, you remember these coordinates from our last video? We're going to use them again in this one. Okay? Now, x2 minus x1. Well, x2 is -3. x1 is 3. Well, -3 minus 3 is -6. Now, obviously, there is no such thing as a negative distance, so we're going to turn it into a positive 6. So there are actually 6 units between 3 and -3. So how do you count those? Okay. 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. There are 6 units between 3 and -3. And I'm going to get arguments, well, there's really 7 units. Don't even mess with me on this one, okay? Trust me on this. Alright, if you want to get real technical, we can all get real technical here, but let's just go with what I'm telling you, because this will actually work. Alright, anyway, now what's the K? Well, if we want 2/3 of the distance, K is actually going to equal two-thirds. K is actually going to equal 2/3. So we're going to multiply the K, which is the 2/3, times, in this case, we can go ahead and use -6 if we want. Okay? Because remember, x2 was -3, and x1 was 3, and -3 minus 3, of course, is going to be -6. 2/3 times -6. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the -6 times the 2. So we're going to have a -12/3. And as we all know, 12 divided by 3 is going to be 4. Okay? Now then, what about this one right here? Y2 is 2 here. Y1 is -3. Which, of course, 2 minus -3 is going to give you the positive total of 5. Okay? Okay, so now we have a -4 here. We have a positive 5 up here. Now, 5 times 2 is 10. Which, of course, is going to be 3 1/3. So we have a -4 and a 3 1/3. Okay? Now, x1 is right here. It's going to be 3. 3 plus -4 is actually going to be -1. So your x-coordinate is going to be -1. Now, what about y1? Well, y1 is -3. So -3 plus +3 1/3. Well, that's going to leave you with a +1/3. So your x and y coordinates here are going to be -1 and 1/3. So -1 and 1/3 is actually going to be 2/3 of the distance between 3 and -3 and -3 and 2. And you can do the arithmetic for yourself and you'll find out that that's absolutely true. Okay? Alright. I think you know what I'm trying to do here. If you have any questions, leave them down here in the comments below. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.